Young and Beautiful by Velvetoscar on AO3. Chapter 4. The first time Louis hears the name Zayn Malik, he sat outside his first lecture hall, studiously ignoring another missed call from his mom and Niall's fervent text demanding the whereabouts of his guitar. He may or may not have hidden it after he's been woken up at the crack of dawn by fevered condition of a poison solo, amp at full blast. What did that little leprechaun expect? Eyes glued to his phone, and why is he even on Facebook? His newsfeed only leaves him irritated. He uses every ounce of mental strength he possesses to ignore the yipping girls to the right of him, resplendent in bland personalities and channel. They are essentially bedazzled hyenas. It's just as Louis masters the art of selective hearing that two more girls suddenly join the pack, slamming the door shut as they scuttle into the building, giggling and bumping into each other as they frantically seek their friends' Prada bags flying, which is excellent. Oh my god, the girl with lanky white blonde hair exclaims, grabbing her chest, and Louis successfully manages not to scoff, instead focusing on a picture of his cousin's dog chasing its tail, something he would rather be doing right now. The sharp, cheekboned brunette next to her swishes her with a giddy giggle. Shh, what if he hears you? For one terrifying moment, Louis thinks they are talking about him, but then he's not gonna hear. He probably on the other side of the school grounds by now, says the girl. Thank the baby Jesus. Who's he? What are you talking about? Hyena number one asks, clutching her iPhone in friend's manicured claws. Zayn Malik, and then a series of screeches ensure Louis is sure that somewhere a dog is howling, maybe the dog in the picture. No, the girl exclaims. You're not even joking. Oh my god, he's so fit. He's even better up close, the girl says. Up close? Who the hell is this guy? Louis never heard of him. Even so, he's now flickering through his newsfeed with all the ferocity of one who's very clearly eavesdropping. Oh well. Oh my god, did he say anything? No. I don't think he talks to people. He talks to boys. The boys? Well, obviously. But I didn't know he went here. Well, his dad's the bloody chancellor. What do you expect? Oh well, that's interesting. Fuck. It's only his first year. Does he live here? Yeah, he's got rooms in the tower. I thought those rooms were for dons. Not when Zayn Malik's a student, the girls had conversation. Damn, now Louis really is curious. So in an act of confronting rebellion, he makes a solid promise to himself not to ask about Zayn Malik and obediently wait for his lecture. Who's Zayn Malik? Louis asks as soon as he enters his flat. Alright, so he caved, but he's heard the damn name already, and he's never claimed not to be nosy. Niall glances up from the couch, a plate of cheeses on his lap, and a cigar in his teeth, and is he watching SpongeBob? You've never heard of Zayn Malik? He asks, genuinely surprised, and scratches himself through his track pants as he pops a chunk of cheese into his mouth. Note to self, money does not buy class. No, I've not bloody heard of him. I'm not in your little socialite fanciest club. I'm with the people, Louis sasses with a roll of eyes, and shuts himself of a shoulder bag that possesses far too many assignments. Jesus Christ, what is this place? Before throwing off his shoes, well, his father's chancellor, Niall says. So I've heard. Louis takes a seat next to Niall on the couch, plucks the cigar out from between his fingers, and takes a drag, then almost chokes to death. Easy there, sport. Niall laughs delighted as he claps his back and makes no move to reclaim the cigar as Louis tries again, eyes watering. Yeah, his father's the chancellor, and you know how that goes, so he's the wealthiest fucking guy I know. Definitely the wealthiest goddamn bloke here. And his mother is Mira fucking Wells, Niall says. Louis coughs up a fountain of smoke and possibly his lung. Mira Wells, the actress? And he doesn't know why he's quite so shocked considering Niall's own prestigious lineage. The other day, he offered to show Louis his family castle for Christ's sake. But all the same, Louis stares dumbfounded and mentally envisions every movie he's ever seen with the lady in question, and all the time he's insisted, through a face full of tears, that that woman better win every fucking award in this country has to offer because she can act, Louis exclaims. Louis may be slight a fan. Are you fucking serious? Louis splutters, and Niall laughs grand and loud before offering Louis cheese as he flicks hair out of his eyes. It's not that big of a deal, mate. Besides, he doesn't live with her for most part, stays with his father. They're divorced? Oh yeah, Niall says with a low whistle. It was quite the scandal, you know. You're not supposed to do that shit in this world. The fact that he married her at all was a bit of controversy. This world, Louis mocks, but Niall just shrugs and hops off the couch, going straight to the fridge. The white of his Ralph Lauren polo almost shines in the soft afternoon light. Prisms from the chandeliers paintings his back. Because yes, they have chandeliers. Louis will never get used to any part of his life. It's frowned upon. It's fucking stupid, yeah, but it's still frowned upon. For his father's status, he's expected to have a wholesome family and all that shit. Marrying an actress who has no family connections at that is a bit of smack in the face, so you can imagine the reaction when they split, Niall said. Dear Lord, I feel like I'm in the Princess Diaries. Louis looks sharply at Niall. He's not Princess, right? Louis questions. Another barking laugh escapes Niall as he pours himself a glass of whiskey. Not technically, but he's wealthy, fucking powerful, a big name on the scene, and he throws a damn good party. Bit quiet though, never actually spoken to him before. Why doesn't he live with his mom? Louis inquires, and he really doesn't want to be this intrigued. But fuck it, this is juicy information. And it's far more entertaining than reading chapter 1 to 5 on the history of the stage. He did for a while, back when she was married to Dave Styles. Then they got divorced, and since the media had filed field day, his father took him in. He's a cunt though, that Khan Malik. I've heard nothing but bad things. Makes a good chancellor though, from a business perspective. And he downs the glass of whiskey in one go. So, Zayn Malik is rich and powerful and son of a cold-hearted billionaire with royal connections. His mother is the best actress of modern cinema. So there's that. There's also Niall Horan with his Armani shoes and limitless supply of cigars and whiskey and family castle, and mum who'd come from old money and prestige, and father who owns record companies and produces for the biggest names in music. And then there's Louis with his self-indulgent, depressed mom who spends days looking in the mirror with sad eyes and disappears for days at a time, a dirtbag father who made it big as a ruthless lawyer for the wealthy, and 5 sisters who are being raised to support themselves. He doesn't really know how to think about the situation, but it leaves a dirty taste in his mouth and makes him break eye contact. I'm going to go read, he says, and he can feel the scowl on his face and change in his voice, but he doesn't explain it, and Niall doesn't ask. Alright, I'm going to check out the boathouse, do a bit of rowing. I'll leave you dinner. And he means money, which only serves to make Louis scowl deepen that much. Nah, I'm alright. Probably just have a bit of tea and toast. I'm not very hungry, Louis says. Right then, see you in a bit, mate. And while Louis stares at his elaborate surroundings, Niall slides on his shoes, unthinkingly humming Heart-Shaped Box, the song. Dangerously close to spitting out something rude and unnecessary, your existence is clashing with mine, and I'm going to have to ask you to finish. He stalks to his room, closes the door a bit sharper than he means to, and studies his reflection in the tall gilt mirror next to his closet. Where the fuck I am? He mumbles to himself, and the words carry, almost echoing against the tall ceilings and archways. But Louis doesn't want to hear them again, so he sighs and collapses on his bed just as the door to their flat shuts. leaving only Louis and his very bitter thoughts. Niall left him dinner anyway. Well, dinner. It's actually just a half-drunk bottle of whiskey, some pricey chocolates and croissant. There's a scribbled note next to it which says, "Tease shit, have this instead." And though Louis really wants to hate every person at this goddamn school, he's beginning to wonder if it's actually impossible to hate Niall Horan. When Niall finally returns, he smells of grass, sweat, and collogue. Really good collogue. Like it was made by elves or extracted from a unicorn, that kind of good. "What is that?" Louis asks, taking Niall's arm and shamelessly sniffing his wrist. "This collogue is incredible. Is this new then?" "I just got it. It's from a perfume in France. Good, innit?" He explains off-handedly, extracting his arm from Louis' grip and stripping himself of his polo as he flicks on his music. "What perfumery?" "I never remember the name. You can have it though, here." And Niall tosses a little gold bottle to Louis, who only just manages to catch it. He stares. "What do you mean I can have it? Are you being funny? Because we have already agreed that doesn't work for you." "I meant just what I said. It's yours, Tomo." Niall pokes through the little piles of clothes on the floor, searching for a clean shirt as he meanders through the room half naked, completely oblivious to Louis' glare at the nickname. "I'm not taking it. I don't like gifts." "Bollocks. Yes, you do." "Well, I don't anymore. I'm not taking it." "Take it. I can get it at any time I want." "Oh, right, I'm sure. What, does your father own it?" And Louis says it with mockery, but Niall responds with, "No, my aunt does." And of fucking course. "Oh, your aunt owns it naturally?" Louis says, exasperated. "I don't know why I'm surprised anymore. Do you own a country as well? Anybody in the family purchased the moon?" "Not yet. Now take the goddamn bottle, you cunt." "Fine. But I'm not saying thank you. You forced to get it to me," Louis says hotly, and brings the bottle to his room. He hears the cackle of Niall's laughter in response. He allows himself a small smile as he places the collogue on his dresser next to his various hair products and lotions. "Why aren't you the big name around here, Horan?" he calls. "Who wants to talk about Zayn Malik when there's Niall Horan?" "I'm talked about enough, mate. Now come here and smoke with me. I want to win FIFA." Louis grins, but makes no protest as he enters the living room. "Win? Your confidence astounds me, young one." Niall's grin is wild and free as he hands him the controller. "It's what I'm made of," Niall says. "But we really need to start studying though," Louis reminds, settling back in the plush suede. "Tomorrow," Niall assures, picking up his bowl and the bag next to it. "Tomorrow," Louis agrees and snaps a pic on his phone to send to Stan with the caption, "My life is better than yours," before pocketing it and forgetting the rest of the world. The first time Louis sees Zayn Malik, he's late for his lecture. He's at the tea shop, frantically relaying his order, Yorkshire half milk, no sugar, and practically throwing notes at the barista because he absolutely needs to hurry because he cannot be late again, but fuck, he needs to caffeine, and is so emotionally taxed that he barely notices the presence behind him and whispers surrounding it. It's only after he checked the clock for the third time in 3 seconds and his order is safely being made that he hears a passing greeting of Malik, "Hey mate," and the clap of a handshake, and suddenly every ounce of intrigue within Louis awakens despite layers of exhaustion from another restless sleep. He's going to smash that piano and he's going to make Niall watch. Because as much as he's heard about Zayn Malik, which is a lot by the way, every day, there's some story or squealed praise in regards to him in class and out. He now feels as if he knows the bloke, and if being honest with himself, he really wants to know if it is who he quietly suspects it is. Because he clearly sees pictures, those pastel shoots, the rumble of an antique car that smell of wealth, and goddammit, Louis is enticed. So with all the nonchalance of a cat, "You're nonchalant, right?" Louis turns around, and his eyes contact with the fedora shampoo commercial raven hair, and irritatingly flawless caramel skin, and eyelashes, and perfectly shaped brown, maybe hazel eyes and cheekbones. And fuck. That's it. Zayn Malik is not real. Zayn Malik is a hologram. But yes, Zayn Malik is exactly who Louis suspected he was, now resplendent in a periwinkle sweater and cream trousers tailored perfectly to his very pristine physique. Though, instead of being with the boys, as he had been each time Louis seen him, he is on his own now, not a champagne bottle or minion in sight. With his mouth actually agape, Louis stares at the boy before him, whose eyes are calm and unblinking, staring at the barista with an unwavering intent that appears more bored than intense. And then a hand is thrust over the counter, nearly knocking Louis over, and there's a not Yorkshire tea in the barista's hand. Mr. Malik, the girl says immediately, and the aforementioned boy takes a drink without a word, sending a slight careful nod of acknowledgement her way before siding it off. What the hell? Wait a fucking minute. I was here first. Louis screeches. He'll deny it later, affronted, but the barista looks just as shocked. But that was Zayn. I know who that bloody was, but why on earth did he get his drink before me? He didn't even order anything. The girl is looking at him with genuine confusion now, bereft of speech. Louis knows the losing battle when he sees one. Sod it, just make my drink please. I'm already late as it is. What's a few minutes more? He growls, and with a still confused look in her eye, she finally begins his drink. Incredible, he sighs to himself, shaking his head. Because yeah, Louis can understand why others would be intimidated by the rich with their silent demands and outrageous expectations. He didn't even blink when he was just handed a drink, without words or payment or any sort, and yes, there is a slight, indescribable quality to Zayn Malik that is mysterious and powerful and very, very slick. Where Nile is a dragon with fire in his belly and scales and bright eyes, glistening claws, Zayn Malik is a snake, coiled lazily in the sun and ready to strike if provoked, all silken skin and piercing eyes. And yeah, maybe he's beautiful, really fucking beautiful, but he took what Louis should have gotten, and he's entitled and a wanker, and yep, Louis hates everybody. So he texts Nile, I hate the school and everybody in it. Death to rich people. A second later, his screen lights up. Can't die, an immortal. What to bunk off? And get high under a tree? Nile questions in the text. And Louis really wants to say no. Which tree? But he says that instead, because he's had a bad day already, and he can just email his professors his assignments. No harm done. Besides, it's the first week of term that never counts, right? Right. So after finally getting his tea, he turns on his heel and smiles at the thought of an afternoon off.